So this week I went through the Microsoft Power Platform Fundamentals, and here is my week 2 log. So for week 2, the link is here for the Power Platform Fundamentals, and on Saturday, really, I just went through the intro of what Power Platform is and all the different aspects of Power Platform. And then I looked at some modules related to virtual agents and building a chat box. And then I also looked at Powerapps, so ways to be able to incorporate some of the apps that they have to make the workflow more efficient. One of the things I like about Microsoft is the ability to, where is it? Let's see. One of the things I like is the ability to be able to see your badges. So I'm a big proponent of badging in learning environments, and so Microsoft does have badging. So I completed the Power Platform, the virtual agents, how to build a basic chat box, and the introduction to Powerapps. So the chat box that I created, I'm working on commencement since I planned commencement, and one of the things I wanted to do was test a chat box for commencement if people had questions. A lot of times I get questions related to the same types of things. When is commencement? How do I order cap and gown? So in this chat box, you're able to type in keywords. On the back end, I had to set up keywords. So how do I order cap and gown? And then the response for information about regalia, including placing an order, please contact campus store. And so that's really great. I was able to put this in. And then question, lays available. So when are lays available?
All right, so much like Deshauna, I was able to work in the Office 365's fundamental learning modules. I think this is definitely a game changer for me. I also love the whole gamification aspect of this, that it creates to your account, it links to your account and it gives you badges on what you complete. Moreover, I like that it gives you a level up system. It gives you points per content inquiry. So whenever I, take a test or whenever I learn more or interact with the video, I get points, experience points, which, help me badge up and level up. Great way to gamify and, reward learners for their time and for their knowledge. I'm going to go ahead and dive into some things that I learned within the Power Platform. So the Power Platform is comprised of 4 key products: Powerapps, which is a rapid, no coding experience needed app builder for businesses that's just created within the Microsoft 365 environment. So a comparable comparison would be, Adobe XD or Adobe Captivate, where you're using an authoring tool or a course authoring tool to make a product that's interactive and that's usable. So what I learned about Powerapps is a lot of the functionality works just like XD. There's Canvas, there's objects, there's advanced interactions, but the advanced interactions are using an Excel kind of format, if-then statements. And they can easily link up to, Google Sheets, Google Docs. There's a lot of connectors, which I'll talk more about what connectors are in a minute. Deshauna talked about Power Automate, and she gave a great representation and a lot of great information about that. There's Power BI, which is, the analytics part of the Power Platform. So this is shown on a dashboard, and you can connect a bunch of different analytic tools that you may have, whether it's Google Analytics, whether it's Twilio, any sort of account that collects data. You attach to that account's API, and that API serves as the connector. And I'll talk more about what APIs are in a minute if you don't know what API is. Lastly, there is the Power Virtual Agent. That's what I used as a prototype and as an artifact for this particular week. Like Deshauna, I made a chat bot, and I linked it to my instructional design portfolio. What I really like about chatbots, and Deshauna went into this as well, is you can create custom trigger phrases. So these trigger phrases are questions that your user is going to type in within dashboard. These trigger phrases can be from anywhere from 5 to 2,000 phrases that are pre-populated that you create. So one of these trigger phrases I call contact information. You're going to go to your authoring canvas, and you're going to see the different paths and link ups to those specific trigger phrases. So if a user says, "How can I get in contact?" I have a message that says, "Great question. Feel free to contact at." I give my email and I give my LinkedIn. You can pre-populate a message, or alternatively, you can do more advanced actions. You can, kind of link this up into your Microsoft SharePoint if your company has an enterprise account. You can kind of go to another topic that for example, I have an about me and end conversation. It's kind of, a learning path or a communication path that you can lead them to. You can end the conversation, and any of the conversation gives you 2 options. You can end with a survey of satisfaction. It's on the star system. I think it's 1 through 5. The user will select if they are satisfied with that question, or you can transfer to an agent. This transfer to an agent button is really good for companies that have a customer service or a call center. All of that can be linked through SharePoint or Azure, which is Microsoft's version of cloud service. And there's a lot of different workflow apps, such as case management systems within the 365 environment. I went ahead and I published that onto my website, and I just did an output in basic HTML. And so this HTML is able to post into my Google site, which I have on my Safari browser, which has no cookies, no sort of like credentials or anything logged in. So this is what it looks like. And at the bottom of my About Me, we have the chat box. So I'll say hello. And I kind of customized the output. It says, hello, I'm a virtual agent. I can help with questions, information, and more. If you'd like to send an email, you can reach Jonathan at my email. And so what can I help you with? I would say, tell me more. And so tell me more, I just, dragged and dropped my about me section within my e-learning and portfolio. Did I answer your question? Yes. And then it should be giving them a rating scale. Or if it didn't answer their question, they should be able to link up to another learning path, which I haven't created on the back end, but that's something that I'll end up doing. All right, let's dig more into, sorry, where did the browser go? There it is. More into the connectors. So I talked about APIs and connectors. So Microsoft uses a lot of various platforms to make their applications run smoother. So some of the connectors that Microsoft has, I found this infographic. Oh, actually, this is the website. This is just a few of the connectors that they can, add to your workflow. So I want to say that these connectors are not necessarily what you would think are LTIs, third-party LTIs. Connectors are just straight API connectors, so you can get the data from that specific application. So say, for example, I wanted to connect to Twitter. The Power 365 API would connect to the Twitter API and kind of like a physical address. They would link up and they would assume that this is a secure connection, and it would give them all the data, just the raw data from that connector. There's not really much, what's the word for it? There's not much of the Twitter aspect that you can incorporate within 365. It's just that raw data. So that's what an API connector is. Here, is an infographic that I found of what is an API. An API is a very useful mechanism that allows two pieces of software to exchange messages or data in standard format. So going back to, just connecting just data, nothing else. Lastly, this is an infographic of the many different connectors that are within the Microsoft 365 environment. Definitely a lot. Some of the foreseeable connectors I'll use is the Adobe Creative Cloud connectors, where I can just pull raw data from Adobe Creative applications. Before I end this, I want to show you my time log, which was comprised mainly of working within the Microsoft 365 Fundamentals course and designing my chat box.